back-to-back wins for the Toronto Blue Jays as they barely hang on to the 6-5 victory over the Kansas City Royals. And, honestly, I didn't really know what to expect in today's ball game. Obviously, on the mound for the Blue Jays, Marco Estrada. And starting for the Kansas City Royals was Jorge Lopez. And coming into the game, he had an ERA of 2.75 in his limited time. Obviously, only 19 innings of work. And with the Jays lighting him up the way they did, his ERA jumps to 11. That's all. That's the way it goes for Lopez in this ball game. But let's get to the way this game shaped up, right? The Blue Jays give up 2 runs in the first inning. Marco Estrada gives up a 2-run shot to Salvador Perez. Whit Merrifield comes in to score as well on the home run, and it's 2-0 right out of the gate. Not exactly what you wanted to see at all. But we talk about it over and over, how we want to see the Jays. We hate it when other teams pounce on the Jays' mistakes. And when the Jays score runs, in the next inning they score runs. The Jays are one of the worst teams at doing that. Top of the second, however, Teoscar Hernandez leads off the inning with a double to right field. Then Russell Martin grounds out to third base, and he doesn't move over, and we're like, that's a big out right there. The next batter, Kevin Pillar, he singles to center field. Hernandez comes in to score, and it is a 2-1 ball game. Let's move to the top of the fourth inning, where the Blue Jays are looking to tie things up here. First off, Teoscar Hernandez, leading off the inning, once again hits an infield single to third base. Then Russ Martin was hit by a pitch. 2 on, nobody out. Then Kevin Pillar singles to center field. Hernandez comes in to score, and Martin moves up to second base, and we are tied at 2 apiece. And things are going crazy for the Toronto Blue. Next batter, Aledmus Diaz. He singles to left field. Martin has to hold up. So the bases are loaded now with nobody out. And we are tied at 2s. The Jays can blow this game wide open. Luke Bailey strikes out. Richard Urania fouls out to the third baseman, and there's 2 away. We talk over and over about, in baseball, you more or less get that 1 inning where you can light a team up and bury them, or else you're not really going to get much the rest of the way. And this seemed to be that inning with the bases loaded and nobody out, 2 quick outs, and now you're down to your final out in the inning, and that is just terrible to see that come into play. Next up, Curtis Granderson, and he gets a 2-0 pitch, and I don't know how we got a hold of this. It was a 93-mile-an-hour fastball at the top of the zone, top far corner of the zone, and he pulls it deep and gone. It's a grand slam for Curtis Granderson. The Grandy man hits a grand slam, and the Blue Jays take a gigantic lead, 6-2. Guys, we've talked about it over and over. The clutch 2-out hits. We talked about it in the month of April when the Jays were so good. They did that on a consistent basis. And then this grand slam by Granderson gives the Jays the 4-run lead. And we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. However, after the Jays just scored those crazy amounts of runs, Salvador Perez hits a solo shot and cutting that lead down to 6-3. Bottom of the 7th. Alcides Escobar singles to center field. Phillips comes in to score, and it is a 6-4 ball game. And then we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Ryan O'Hearn hits a solo shot off of Ken Giles. That makes it a 6-5 ball game, but that is the way she finishes, and the Blue Jays get the victory. 2 straight W's. I don't care. I do not care if it's against the Kansas City Royals. I don't care if it's against Baltimore. The Jays won 2 in a row, people. Enjoy it. We haven't seen a lot of this over the last little while. We're probably not going to see it for the remainder of the season, or I guess we'll see it for parts of it probably, but not much of it. Enjoy it the way it is. So let's start with the bats here in the Jays. They had 10 hits and obviously the 6 runs. Granderson was 2 for 4 with the grand slam and scored a run as well. His average is up to 235. He's having a very good season. More or less a Granderson-esque type of season for the Toronto Blue Jays. Grichuk was 1 for 5. Hernandez was 2 for 5, raising his average to 243 on the season. Martin was 1 for 3. Pilar 2 for 3. Diaz 1 for 4. And Richard Urania 1 for 3. And look, guys, who went 0 for? Maley, Smokey, Morales was 0 for 1. That's about it. Not too bad for the Toronto Blue Jays. And the pitching-wise, like I said, Marco Estrada went 6 2/3, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, struck out 3, and walked 1 guy. And what I've learned over the past, if Marco Estrada is living low in the zone, he is very good. Now, did he miss some pitches? Yeah. Especially to Salvador Perez, who hit 3 of the 4 runs in, with 2 ding-dongs off of Marco Estrada. Not what you want to see, but it's the way it goes for him in this one. And his ERA, hold on, it was 4.87. It went up by 3. But then Ryan Tepera comes out in the, to finish off that 7th inning, gets the job done. He walks a batter, but gets a strikeout and goes a clean inning of work in the 8th inning to set up Ken Giles, who, like I said in the opener there, he gives up the home run to Ryan O'Hearn. His first run given up in a save situation this season, but he still picks up the save because the Jays had the 2-run lead. He goes an inning, gives up 1 hit, obviously the home run, strikes out a batter, picks up his 15th save, and guys, he is perfect in save opportunities this season. Yeah, the ERA is spiked, but he is perfect in save opportunities. Can't stub your nose at that. Back when Roberto Osuna was a closer of the Blue Jays, we were up by 2 or 3 runs, when he gave up 1 run, but still picked up the save. Did we really talk about it too much? Not really. So Ken Giles gives up 1 in a 2-run lead, and gets the job done and shuts down the rest of the ball game, and the Jays win back-to-back games. He has saves in back-to-back games. He's saved 3 straight for the Toronto Blue Jays in his saves opportunities. He's been alright. Yeah, the ERA is 6.03, and it's not really where you want it to be. But he's getting the job done in those tight games when you need him to get the job done. Really, that's the way it is. Give him time, Jays fans. This team, this Blue Jays team, is not going to be a contending team this year, possibly not even next season. So why do we need to rip on Ken Giles in the first 5 or 6 outings, maybe even 7, that he's been as a Toronto Blue Jay? Give the guy a chance. I'm giving him a chance. He's been perfect in save opportunities. Yeah, he gave up the home run today, but he didn't crack, even though it was a 1-run ball game, and he gave up the home run to make it a 1-run ball game. He did not crack, and he got the job done. That's what I care about. He did an alright job there. The finale of the series, guys, goes tomorrow as former Blue Jay takes them out for the Kansas City Royals, Glenn Sparkman. Yeah, a lot of people wondering, who the heck is that? Well, that was the Blue Jays' Rule 5 pick last season. Obviously, he was injured most of the year, played a very minuscule amount of time with the Blue Jays, and they just didn't want any part of him. They let him go, and he goes to Kansas City, and in 16 innings, he has a 5.06 ERA, and so he's been in very minimal time with the Kansas City Royals. And former KC, I mean, if you're looking on the Score Mobile, Sam Gaviglio has a KC hat on. You know why? Because he was a Royal last season. He's facing his former team, so both pitchers are facing their former teams in tomorrow night's ball game. It's an 8:15 first pitch once again. The Blue Jays look to win the series 3-1, and they look for their 3rd straight victory. All right, I'm hoping and I'm assuming Danny Jansen is going to be back behind the dish tomorrow. Maybe they'll throw Russell Martin. I'm not sure what their plan is for tomorrow, but we're going to have to wait and see, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed this video, and you guys enjoyed the Curtis Granderson Grand Slam in this ball game. Smack that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below, guys. What'd you think of the game? What'd you think of Marco Estrada? Oh, jeepers. That came out of nowhere. What do you guys think of Ken Giles' outing? And, guys, what do you guys think of the game overall? You know, we're getting closer and closer to the end of the season. We're midway through August now. It's the 15th of August. we're getting there. All right, so we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Well, I guess we'll talk to you guys in 2 weeks' time. Podcast edition. No podcast next week, guys, because Evan is away. The following week, it'll be a Wednesday. I'm not sure exactly. I think it's like the 30th or the 29th or something along those lines. On the Wednesday, as that we'll be talking about we'll be doing the podcast that day. Link is in the description for the podcast channel and for the podcast itself on iTunes, guys. Twitter is down below. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow night as the Blue Jays look for their third straight victory, the series win against the Kansas City Royals, and just another good start from Sam Gaviglio, who was actually pretty good in his last outing. We'll have to wait and see, though, and we'll talk to you guys then.